Shemu'ėl Aleph, 1 Samuel chapter 20. And David fled from Naboth in Ramah, and went and said to Jonathan, What have I done? What is my crookedness? And what is my sin before your father, that he seeks my life? And Jonathan said to him, Far be it, you are not going to die. See, my father does no big matter nor small matter without disclosing it to me. And why should my father hide this matter from me? It is not so. But David swore again and said, Your father knows well that I have found favor in your eyes. And he says, Do not let Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly, as Yah lives, and as your being lives, there is but a step between me and death. And Jonathan said to David, Whatever your desire is, I do it for you. And David said to Jonathan, See, tomorrow is the new moon, and I ought to sit with the sovereign to eat. But let me go, and I shall hide in the field until the third day at evening. If your father misses me at all, then you shall say, David earnestly asked my permission to run over to Bethlehem, his city, for a yearly slaughtering is made there for all the clan. If he says thus, it is well, your servant is safe. But if he is very displeased, then know that he has resolved to do evil. And you shall show loving commitment to your servant, for you have brought your servant into a covenant of Yah with you. And if there is crookedness in me, put me to death yourself, for why should you bring me to your father? And Jonathan said, Far be it from you, for if I knew with certainty that my father has resolved that evil is to come upon you, then would I not make it known to you? And David said to Jonathan, Who would make it known to me, or what if your father answers you sharply? And Jonathan said to David, Come, and let us go out into the field. And they both went out into the field. And Jonathan said to David, Yah Elohim of Yisrael be witness, when I search out my father sometime tomorrow or the third day, and see if there is good toward David, and I do not send to you or disclose it to you, so let Yah do so and much more to Jonathan. And if it pleases my father to do you evil, then I shall disclose it to you and send you away, and you shall go in peace, and Yah be with you as he has been with my father. But showing me the loving commitment of Yah, not only while I still live, so that I do not die, and do not cut off your loving commitment from my house forever. No, not when Yah has cut off every one of the enemies of David from the face of the earth. And Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, Yah shall require it at the hand of the enemies of David. And Jonathan again made David swear, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own being. So Jonathan said to him, Tomorrow is the new moon, and you shall be missed, because your seat shall be empty. And on the third day, go down quickly, and you shall come to the place where you hid on the day of the deed, and shall remain by the stone itself. And let me shoot 3 arrows to the side of it, as though shooting at a target. And see, I shall send the youth, saying, Go find the arrows. If I expressly say to the youth, Look, the arrows are on this side of you, get them and come. Then, as Yah lives, there is safety for you and no concern. But if I say thus to the youth, Look, the arrows are beyond you, go your way, for Yah has sent you away. And as for the word which you and I have spoken of, see, Yah is between you and me forever. And David hid in the field, and when the new moon came, the sovereign sat down by the food to eat. And the sovereign sat on his seat, as at other times, on a seat by the wall, with Jonathan standing, and Abner sitting by Shaul's side, but the place of David was empty. But Shaul spoke not a word that day, for he thought, It is an accident. He is not clean, for he has not been cleansed. And it came to be the next day, the second day of the new moon, that David's place was empty. And Shaul said to Jonathan his son, Why has the son of Yishai not come to eat, either yesterday or today? And Jonathan answered Shaul, David earnestly asked my permission to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Please let me go, for our clan has a slaughtering in the city, and my brother has commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in your eyes, please let me get away and see my brothers. That is why he has not come to the sovereign's table. Then the displeasure of Shaul burned against Jonathan, and he said to him, you son of a perverse, rebellious woman. Do I not know that you have chosen the son of Yeshai to your own shame and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Yeshai lives on the earth, you shall not be established, you and your reign. And now send and bring him to me, for he is a son of death. And Jonathan answered Shaul his father and said to him, Why should he be put to death? What has he done? At that, Shaul hurled a spear at him to smite him. Then Jonathan knew that his father had resolved to put David to death. And Jonathan rose up from the table in the heat of displeasure and ate no food the second day of the new moon, for he was grieved for David, because his father put him to shame. And it came to be in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a small youth was with him. And he said to the youth, Now run, find the arrows which I shoot. As the youth ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the youth came to the place where the arrow was, which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan called out after the youth and said, Is not the arrow beyond you? And Jonathan shouted after the youth, Make haste, hurry, do not stand still. And Jonathan's youth picked up the arrows and came to his master. But the youth knew not a speck. Only Jonathan and David knew of the matter. Then Jonathan gave his weapons to the youth and said to him, Go, take them to the city. And as soon as the youth had gone, David rose from the south side and fell on his face to the ground and bowed 3 times. And they kissed one another and they wept together, but David more so. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, since we have both sworn in the name of Yah, saying, Yah is between you and me, and between your seed and my seed forever. Then he arose and left, and Jonathan went into the city.